Have you ever asked yourself what in the heck you're doing? I do a lot, actually. So let's just get this out of the way up front. I'm floundering right now, today. I'm working on a story with 2 plot lines. First time I've ever tried that. And they started so far apart, I genuinely questioned my own creative instincts. And then my brain basically laughed at me when I finally figured out where they're going to meet. Naughty wench. I still don't know where this story is going. No clue. I don't even have a title for it, it's that bad. In Scrivener, it's just called Short Stories for March. Yeah, I've been at it for that long. 3 months. So today I want to talk about what it's actually fine. And a video that helped me understand my own process a little better. Here's the thing about learning to trust your writing instincts. It's a journey. And I'm not sure it ever really ends. I've written short stories people genuinely like, but this piece that I'm working on right now is longer. Over 13,000 words so far. The second part of a bigger work. And I still haven't gotten used to not knowing where it's headed. And honestly, I may never get used to that uncertainty. I've made peace with that, though. It's still fun to write when I'm in the flow. The not knowing is kind of the point for me. But I'm also not above looking for ways to improve my process. That curiosity is part of the deal when you write fiction. You never know it all. That's one of my favorite things about this whole craft. So a little while back, I went looking, and on a whim, I clicked on a video by Ellen Brock about what she calls intuitive plotters. I had already watched her video on methodological pantsers, and I really identify with a lot of tips that she was offering. But I thought, maybe there's something missing. So that's why I clicked on that video. Now here's the funny part. Even though I watched her video on methodological pantsers and avoided this one, I really wasn't sure which one I was. And actually, quite now, honestly, I think I'm kind of a little bit of both, because both videos spoke to me. So, like I said, it turns out I'm on a spectrum between intuitive plotter and methodological pantser, which, if you're a writer, you already know none of us is fit neatly into plotter or pantser. It's a spectrum, not a box. If that's you too, if you've ever felt like the writing advice the internet wants you to pick a team, stick with me, because the tips that helped me weren't about picking a side. They were about working with however my brain already works. Ellen, she's a great teacher, by the way. She shared a handful of plotting methods built specifically for intuitive plotters. Here are 4 of them that stood out. Well, actually, these are the 4 methods. Plot using summaries. This is what I've been doing as a pantser for a long time. I'll be working on a story, and then occasionally I'll get a ping of an idea of where this is going, so I make a little note, a summary of what's going to happen. So she recommends not using just one plot summary, but different types of summaries, like scene level and then overarching plot. So you separate side plots and character emotional arcs, keeping it all separate, and it makes it a lot less overwhelming, especially if plotting is not your natural bent. Another thing she recommends is using plot using keywords. Simple phrases, even single words that trigger your gut sense of a scene. Then you play through them, almost like notes in a song. Plot using note cards. Physically shuffle them around or build them digitally, if that's more your style. Keyword on one side, summary on the other. And then the last one is plot using visualization. Close your eyes and watch the story like a movie. Some writers even record themselves narrating the summary out loud and listen back later. None of these are the right way. They're just different doors into the same room. Out of everything in that video, a few tips really stuck with me, and I want to share the ones I'm actually putting into practice. First, plot in a way that sparks intuition. Use tools that feel good, not rigid spreadsheets and bullet lists. Oh. For me, that means trying pen and paper. With my fountain pens, obviously. There's something about the physical act of writing that a spreadsheet just can't touch. Second, explore the idea freely before you plot. She recommends this both for methodological pantsers and intuitive plotters. Free write is another one. Daydream. Let the story breathe before you try to pin it down. Apparently, this works for pantsers too, which tells you something about how much overlap there really is between the two camps. So, yeah, it's worth a try. Third, and this one might be my favorite, allow yourself to deviate from the outline. If your gut says go a different direction, listen to your gut, go. The outline is a tool. It's not a contract. And last, when you know you can't intuit the answer, look it up. There's no shame in reaching for structure when your instincts stall out. That's not failure. That's just having more than one tool in the box. Plus, over time, the more stories you write, the less you'll probably pull from that. At least that's what I imagine. And actually, that's kind of what longtime authors who write without outlines tell you. Over time, it's just practice. There were more tips in the full piece about editing your outline before the manuscript, reading the whole draft in as few sittings as possible, polishing front to back instead of jumping around. I'm not going to read the whole list, but it's in my newsletter if you'd like to dig in. I'll drop the link in the bottom, below the video. But here is what I want you to take from this video specifically. If you've been told that you have to be a plotter or a pantser, and neither one ever quite fit, you're not doing it wrong. No. You just might be intuitive. And that's a real workable way to write. Whether you're plotting or whether you're pantsing, you can just do a little bit of plotting, a little bit of pantsing, back and forth, back and forth. It's your process. Learn what works for you. I still don't have a title for my 2-plotline story. I still don't know exactly where I'm going. But I trust it a little more than I did before I watched that video, and that's enough for today. So tell me, what's your process? Are you a plotter, a pantser, a plantser, which is somebody in between, like me? Drop it in the comments. I read every one. And while I am more geared towards pantsing, it doesn't hurt to always learn a little bit of plotting, learn structure. All of that is always going to help, and your subconscious will accept it, and it'll sink into your subconscious, and it will come out when you write your stories, when you pant your stories, if you're a pantser, or if you're an intuitive plotter, 100%. Every time you sit down to write out your plot, the thing is, it's just to make sure that you don't go too far for your particular process. So if you want a full breakdown of all of Ellen's steps, or tips, I should say, the ones that I didn't mention in this video, head on over to AC Cooper Writes on Substack. Links below. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day and get to writing.